Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another Overlook Gems. If you want to listen to some guy babble about music that he loves, man, did you turn into the right place, because I'm about to babble about RTZ, also known as Return to Zero. You may know them because of Brad Delp and Barry Goudreau, both of Boston, and if you don't know any of that, well then you should, because this album was like killer. They kind of did an album back together back in the day. It was actually under the name Barry Goudreau, but Brad Delp sang at least half the stuff on it, maybe more, but it's been a while since I listened to that one, but that one's really good. Return to Zero has 2 official albums out. They actually had some other stuff released, the Lost album, or Lost and Found, or something like that it was called. I don't remember exactly, but I really should do more research on this stuff before I start talking, but that's not how I roll. I just want to talk about this album here. I don't even remember how I found it. I know it was released on Giant Records, and back, when this album came out, which I believe was 91, I think it says on here somewhere. I could just go to, the internet and look the stuff up, but instead I'm fumbling through the card here, because I actually have this one on cassette. I should probably, update my collection here and get this one on CD, because this one's definitely worth it. But anyway, it is Barry Goudreau who started, writing songs and wanted somebody to sing on it again, and got Brad Delp to help, and just made some great music on here. The rest of the guys on here I'm really not too familiar with. They got Brian Mays on keyboards, Tim Archibald on bass, David Stefanelli on drums. They have some guest vocals on here. Maxine Waters, which I'm sure is not the Congresswoman, Bob Gay on sax, and Julia Waters. Oh yeah, I know those two. What am I thinking? The Waters. Yes, they sing on lots of stuff. Anyway, and they got some horn dudes on here, which I'm not going to bother going through. And this is produced and mixed and engineered by Chris Lord-Alge, so you know it's going to sound good, and it sounds great. These guys just make some amazing music. It's, if you were like, we were back when this came out, dying for some Boston, and how Boston is, they take forever making albums, and then quite honestly, I know it's maybe contrary to popular belief, but the last few albums they've done have not been all that great. This one was killer. It's got the style a little bit more harder edge than Boston. You got 2 of the guys from Boston, so of course it's going to have that sound. Although Barry was not the main songwriter in Boston. He was the main songwriter in this one, however. And he did Delp and Goudreau, they kind of share writing credits on it. There's a couple added ones here from the other guys in the band on a couple different tunes, but overall it's actually the first song, I think the first single on this, if I remember right, was There's Another Side. I kind of remember that one being the single, and just thinking how cool that song was, like heavy, but it still had Brad Delp singing on it, and it was catchy. So the whole album's kind of like that. There's a couple, cool, more melodic mid-tempo songs on here, and then there's a couple just killer slower songs on here that just, in fact, one of the best songs in here was actually not written by one of those guys called Until Your Love Comes Back Around, which was actually written by Brian Mays. That one's like really good, but the rest of the songs on here, I want to pick some highlights, but I'm just kind of looking down the list of the songs here, and like every song was really good. Face the Music was great. There's Another Side. All You've Got. This Is My Life was kind of like one of those really gut-wrenching vocals on that one. The song itself was actually probably one of my least favorites, but the vocal on it, I don't know. It's kind of like I'm torn on that one. Rain Down on Me. Every Door Is Open. I remember listening to that one like all the time. Killer song. Devil to Pay, another great one. Until Your Love Come Back Around, I already mentioned that one. Living for Rock and Roll is kind of okay. Hard Time also kind of but it ends with Return to Zero, the one of these guys that probably got the name of the band from just writing a song. I know that's kind of how it happens a lot of the time. I don't know if that's how it happened, but I'm guessing, speculating on this one. Ends with a killer song. So that's my take on it. The other album that they had out here, that the official release of these guys, is called Lost. That one's actually really good too. It doesn't have quite the caliber of songs on that one, but it still has, Brad Delp singing on it. So, if you are looking for some Brad Delp, because he didn't, when you think about it, he didn't do a lot. The stuff he did was great and amazing, but he didn't do a lot. And anytime there's a chance to grab something that Brad sings on, I think you should do it. I think you should check this album out. Come back, tell me what you think of it. You know, if there's any other Brad stuff out there that maybe I don't know about or other people don't know about and you know about it, make sure you mention it in the comments below. Let us know. And like, share, and subscribe. Keep this music alive, because this band is killer, and it's one of those albums that just, for me, stood the test of time. So until next time, we'll see ya.